Hi villaging friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe for new fun villaging content. If you're a return viewer, thank you so much for your viewership. I greatly appreciate it as I continue to grow this channel. Today we're going to be looking at this beautiful piece by Department 56 called The Cursed Fountain. Now I picked this up as a parts repair piece, and when it got to me, the only thing that was wrong with it was the battery box didn't work, and I don't use those anyway. So plugging this into a DC jack, it lit up just as intended. And looking at this fountain, we have beautiful details, the painting, it's all just exquisite, with one exception in my opinion. The lighting in the basin is just a little too static for my particular taste. When I think of anything water, be it a fountain, river, ocean, pond, or anything, there's movement to it. It's going to be a little bit more dynamic than what it is. So today I want to do a lighting reimagining on this particular piece and take out this static LED and replace it with a flickering LED to give that basin a little bit more character. Now, if you have this particular piece and your light no longer works, this is going to be the repair video for you. So let's get started and knock this out.
Here we have my Cursed Fountain by Department 56. Now I picked this up as a parts repair piece, and it's actually fine, but I just do not like the static light in this. So today we're going to be taking out the static light in this and changing it to a flickering effect, because every time I think of water or fountain, I think of a shimmer effect. You know, like a swimming pool with a light in it. It needs a little bit of animation to make it a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more fun. So taking a quick look at this, it looks like it might be assembled the way that other Department 56 pieces are, with just, you know, the LED that is basically glued into place in a channel or a hole in the figure. Very similar to, like, you know, the Haunted Well by Department 56 and some of the other pieces that I've reimagined. So I'm just using a hairdryer on high heat to try to heat this up. Once it's good and hot, we'll give the wire a tug and see what happens.
5 minutes later.
After 5 minutes of good high heat, I'm giving this wire a tug, and it is not budging in the slightest. So we're going to move on to Plan B. I believe this is going to be assembled a little bit differently than some of the others. Plan B is to come at it from the front. When I was looking at this earlier, you could kind of see the LED in the basin. So I'm thinking maybe the LED is sitting vertically versus horizontally, or some sort of weird angle. That would, you know, prevent it from moving out of this. It's also possible it could be completely glued into place with resin or something else. So I'm going to get the front of this really good and hot, and then we're going to be taking a pick tool to remove the basin. Now, from what I've gathered on this piece, just looking at it, the red liquid that's supposed to, you know, be your blood basin, I believe it's just simply glued into the resin basin down below. And that might not even be resin, it might just be a plastic. I'm going to work my hook pick tool in around the blood basin, because there is plenty of space in the very back of the fountain to get a hook pick tool down and then start working around. And as you can see, it's coming right out. Alright, so let's take a better look at this. Now our LED is definitely in a vertical position. I'm going to apply some more heat, but I believe this is going to be epoxy. So we'll give this heat for a few more moments and then come right back to it. I gave this about 3.5 to 4 minutes of high heat. Let's see what we get. Now, just working with my pick tool on this, it is not budging. So it looks like this LED was placed with epoxy. Top of that, there is a channel into this basin where the LED is sitting. So I believe I can take that basin off, and I'm going to use my hook pick tool to get underneath that. The basin became very soft after heating it, but it is reforming its own shape very well. So if you get this a little bit hot, you can always reshape it with a hairdryer if you need to. All right, just working underneath this. I can hear the epoxy breaking underneath. So if you're working with it and you start to hear a little creaking and crackling, that is the epoxy breaking. Now I'm going to add even more heat to this to work that particular piece off. As I'm doing this, I'm trying very carefully not to damage the paint job on the fountain itself. There is a possibility that because I am, digging in with a hook pick tool, the very back of it may cause some sort of damage to the paint job. But the best part is, where it's going to be causing damage, you won't see it when it's put back together. All right, just working this hook pick tool in. It's slowly coming up. All right. Try it from over on this side, and we're making some progress. Okay, there we go. And now it is off. Okay, so there's our LED. Now this is kind of a surprise. This is a 5mm LED. For something this small, a 3mm should have been more than sufficient. Interesting design choice. Again, just applying a little bit more heat to this to see if I can get that LED out, which it's not going to. In order to remove the LED in the existing wiring, what we're going to be doing is a little bit of total carnage. We're going to basically just be ripping out everything. We're going to be using a drill and Dremel to clean this up, and then we'll put it all back together. I was able to break off the LED diode with a hook pick tool, but the remaining wires, even the resistor that is in this particular figure is down underneath here. It's all cemented in place with epoxy resin. Using a drill, and I believe it was a 5/16 bit, I basically have drilled where the wires are coming up into the figure, and I'm just trying to clean up this channel and work any of the debris and everything else out. Ultimately, it's just going to require a little bit of time and patience with this. We want to make sure we can get those wires a little bit loose. I don't know how much epoxy has gone down into the channel where the wires come out the back of the figure, but giving the wires a good pull after that, it did come right out. And now our figure is mostly broken down. Just need to finish cleaning up this last little bit. And I'm going to run a smaller drill bit through the back side of this. The reason being is I want to clear out any of the debris that's in that channel. I'm going to ream this hole with the drill just a few more times, get all of the extra debris out, clean out the cavity where the LED sits in the very base of the figure, and then we can start talking about our new LED information. For this project, I'll be using a single 5mm red flickering LED that runs at 0.025 watts at 2 to 2.2 volts. Now let's calculate for resistance. Using the Dept 56 3-volt power source, 3 volts minus 2 volts is 1 volt. 1 volt divided by 20 milliamps is 50 ohms. Using only a 50 ohm resistor would have the LED at full brightness, and instead I want this to be a little bit dimmer. So I'll be using a 0.25 watt 330 ohm plus or minus 5% resistor to dim the LED. With everything cleaned up, it's time to start installing our new LED. And the first thing is to feed the wires through the figure itself. We're going to be pulling these through and then pulling everything back nice and taut after everything is put together. Now, something I noticed with this particular figure is the basin and the red fluid, or the blood pool, so to speak. In the bottom of that basin is a channel for the LED. So we're going to do a quick dry fitting of the LED, see how it's going to fit, and then kind of bend our anode and cathode accordingly so we know where our angles are going to need to be so we don't have too much excess on the LED so it will sit properly. Remember, if you run into problems seating your LED, you can always Dremel out that area underneath the basin a little bit more to give yourself a little bit of extra space. Just make sure to do so in a well-ventilated area with eye protection. I put my LED into my tester, and I want to see how this looks overall before we start soldering and putting it all together. Definitely when I put the basin back in, I have to make sure that glue is in there. Okay, that's going to look great. Looking at this, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble the blood pool into the basin with a little bit of low temp hot glue. It's not going to be a whole lot, just a little bit around the edges. Nothing excessive. I don't want excess glue coming up and around the basin. We'll just put this back in. Now this should fit basically as it was. Perfect. And the last thing I want to do with this is press it down on the table so I can ensure that backside is flush. Everything's looking good. Let's just do one last little dry fitting here. Just want to make sure I didn't have to reform that basin, because as it did get hot earlier, it became very malleable, but it kind of just snapped back into its original position. Now with this LED, it is going to be going to that particular hole, and we see the basin is what's called as keyed, meaning there's the square around the base that fits perfectly into the base of this figure. So I'm just going to make sure there's no extra debris. One last final check. Now, if you wanted to be a little bit more thorough than I am being, you could take a Dremel, you could clean up all the excess glue that was left behind. I'm using that in its place because it's going to fit back where it was. It's just not going to, of course, adhere. So a little bit of low temp hot glue on the bottom is going to be ultimately what I'll put this back together with. Alright, so let's take a closer look at this. With the LED seated, I'm going to slightly bend the anode and cathode. That'll give me the general bend point for where the LED is going to be coming out of this basin down below. That way I can make all of my solder point connections. So as you can see, I've got these at a 90-degree angle now. I can spread them apart and start making these connections. Now we're going to start on the positive side of the circuit. Now if you're not familiar with Department 56 circuitry, take a look at the wires on our pigtail adapter here. One side is a solid black wire. That is going to be the ground. The other side has white dashes. This is going to be the positive. This has been a long-running standard of Department 56, and if you are ever in doubt, you can always connect up your power source to your adapter and test with a multimeter. The overall circuit of this is going to be very simple. It's going to be an LED with a resistor, and that's basically it. Today, I'm only going to be using heat shrink on the positive leg of the circuit, and the ground is going to be exposed. I'm going to be securing everything in place with low temp hot glue, so that's going to be a great insulator. So we're going to start by connecting up our resistor. And all of my solder point connections, we're going to use just a little bit of flux. Then we're going to solder. Just very light solder. There's a little ball on my soldering iron for this. Next, I'm going to snip off any of the excess from the resistor and the anode. We want to make sure when doing this not to have any extra burrs, as those will cut through heat shrink. Now let's assemble. For this, I'm going to go ahead and strip back the wires, a pair of strippers off of this adapter. Be sure not to smack the fountain as I do it. I don't want to potentially break any of the wonderful decoration off of this. Now this is braided wire, so I want to make sure that's nice and twisted up. I'm going to take a piece of heat shrink and do a quick dry fitting to make sure I can cover that resistor in our earlier solder point connections. I want to make sure that the heat shrink goes all the way to the base of the LED, so I'm just going to slide it on, mark it with my fingers, snip it off with a pair of clippers, put it back on, and then secure it in place with a lighter. Give that just a moment to cool before we start working with everything else. Now, you do not have to use a lighter when securing heat shrink. You can use a hairdryer, or you can use a heat gun. I just prefer using a lighter because it is what I've commonly done, and I am most comfortable with it. If you use a hairdryer, that works just as well. If you use a heat gun, you need to take a little bit more caution, as you could potentially burn your fingers and or the LED. Let's get our LED connected in a couple of quick steps. The first is we're going to be putting some heat shrink onto the positive leg of the circuit. This will be used later after we make our solder point connection to cover our resistor and that connection area. Now again, I'm only going to be doing this on the positive leg of the circuit today. The ground will be exposed. With it connected, we can then add a little bit of flux and then a little bit of solder. Now this is just a small bead of solder. It's going to go on very quickly. That flux is going to pull it right off the iron. Then we can trim up any of the excess. And make sure if you have any extra burrs, you want to get those trimmed down as much as possible. Slide the heat shrink up. and we can secure in place with a lighter. I'll rinse and repeat this for the other side of the circuit, minus the heat shrink, and we can pull that LED down into the base. With everything together, we'll be pulling the wire from the back side to feed through the base of the figure. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of positioning the wire so it will come around and that LED will sit straight up. I'm going to get it as close as I can. Now with this, because there is still some of the extra original glue in place, I didn't clean this out as it would have been when it was made from factory. I'm going to have to work this around a little bit and probably spread the anode and cathode a little bit outward in order to get a good fit. Okay, I believe I have wrangled that LED into place. It's now time to put that basin back on. Now this is just going to be a simple slide over because of that channel that was already in the base. Just want to make sure it sits as it should. Yeah. Let's go ahead and apply some power just to make sure it is working, because I have bent those anode and cathodes around quite a bit. Alright, yeah, perfect. With one exception, I feel like I need to bend that LED upwards just a little bit. The basin wasn't sitting quite right. Alright, now that it's definitely more completely vertical, that should be perfectly fine. Now for this, I am going to go ahead and secure that LED as it originally was, except not using epoxy, but hot glue instead. Make sure to catch any of those stray strands as well. Now with the basin, I'm just going to do a couple of small dabs of low temp hot glue. I want to be able to get back into this piece if I need to change this out. So just a couple of dabs, pressing it into place. It almost feels like it clicks into place as I'm doing this, and there it is. Let's take a look at our finished results and have a discussion about it.
Well, this completes the lighting reimagined on the Cursed Fountain by Department 56. You'll have to let me know in the comments, what did you think of my choice? Is this something that you would have taken on, or would you have just left it alone? I welcome the comments and the conversation. Now, I plan on using this in a cemetery build this year in my Halloween village, and I can't wait to use it. My only really other issue that I have with this piece is very minor, and it's the overall base is just a little bit disproportionately large compared to the fountain. So sinking that into foam will kind of level it down a little bit and just bring it a little bit more on scale with everything else. Now, this was an interesting piece to work on because of the way that the red fluid was in the basin that was glued in, and then the basin itself was adhered to the base for the fountain with epoxy. All the electronics were basically coated in epoxy, so getting it out was more of a dig it out when you can. And I basically did just rip out the LED wiring in the back and then drilled out the remaining pieces. But all in all, I'm really happy to have this done. Can't wait to use it in my 2026 season. So thank you so much if you made it this far through the entire video. I greatly appreciate the viewership. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun villaging content. And until next time, keep on villaging.
Thanks for watching The Cursed Fountain by Department 56 Lighting Reimagined. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun villaging content, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you haven't checked out some of my other content, I've got platform creation to other reimaginings and so much more. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, keep on villaging!